Hello and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something really cool, a business model that's all about community, not just about profit. We are talking about the cooperative model. Seriously, just take a second and think about that. What if that grocery store on the corner, or the bank where you keep your money, or even the farm that grows your food, what if it was actually owned and controlled by you and your neighbors? Sounds pretty different, right? Well, that's the fundamental idea we're digging into today. All right, so what is a cooperative, like by the book? Well, it's a group of people who get together, totally voluntarily, to solve a common problem or meet a shared need. And the two magic words here are jointly owned and democratically controlled. This isn't just some social club, it's a real business where the power is shared equally among its members. Okay, so that sounds great in theory, but how do you actually build one of these things? How does an idea like this become a real functioning business? Let's check out the blueprint. It pretty much always starts with a common need. Maybe a group of farmers can't get fair prices for their crops, or maybe a neighborhood wants access to affordable, healthy food. Then, people have to actually choose to come together and join forces. From there, you've got to make it official. Register it under the law, like with Kenya's Cooperative Societies Act. And here's the most crucial part. The whole thing is built on democratic control. It doesn't matter how much money you put in, it's always one member, one vote. So the co-op exists. You've got the paperwork done. Now what? How does it actually run day to day? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine room, how these organizations are managed, and importantly, where the money comes from. The management structure is really cool. It's kind of like an upside-down pyramid. The ultimate power doesn't sit with some CEO in a corner office. Nope, it rests with the members themselves. They're the ones who elect a board of directors to handle oversight. And yeah, bigger co-ops might hire professional managers for daily operations, but the core principle, always, is democratic decision-making. And what about the money? Where does it come from? Well, it's not just one place. It's a mix. A big chunk, of course, comes directly from the members themselves, through things like share capital and savings. But they're not totally on an island. They also work within the bigger economy, so they can get loans from financial institutions, receive grants, and of course, they reinvest their own profits right back into the business. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. The structure and the funding are one thing, but what does it actually do in the real world? What's the impact? Let's look at some of the different types of co-ops and the incredible advantages they bring to the table. You've probably heard of these, or something like them, savings and credit cooperatives, often called SACCOs. Just think of it like a bank that's owned by its customers. Members pool their savings together, which allows the co-op to give out affordable loans to other members, maybe to start a business, pay for school, or handle an emergency. It's an absolutely powerful tool for financial inclusion. For farmers, banding together like this can be a total game changer. I mean, picture it. One single farmer trying to negotiate prices with some giant corporation. They have basically zero leverage. But when hundreds of farmers join forces through a co-op to sell their produce together, suddenly they have real bargaining power. They can get better prices and tap into bigger markets. It really can turn a tough living into a sustainable business. And hey, chances are you might have been part of one of these without even realizing it. Ever shopped at a food co-op? Or used a credit union instead of a big bank? Yep, that's a consumer cooperative. It's owned by the customers, and its main goal isn't to maximize profit for some faraway investor. It's to give its members quality goods and services at a fair price. So you see, it doesn't matter if we're talking about banking or farming or just buying groceries. The one word that ties it all together, the most crucial point, is empowerment. This model gives everyday people a way to actually own and control the economic forces that shape their lives. And this is where you see that empowerment just ripple out into the whole community. It leads to better bargaining power for everyone involved, gives people access to credit they might not get otherwise, and ensures the benefits are distributed fairly. Co-ops create stable local jobs, they fuel community development, and because they're owned by the people they serve, they tend to be really resilient and focused on the long term. Okay, but let's be real. No system is perfect, right? To get the full picture, we have to talk about the flip side. The very things that make co-ops so great can also create some very real challenges. So let's take a balanced look. So here's the trade-off. That amazing democratic principle of member empowerment, well, getting everyone to agree on something can sometimes lead to slow decision-making. That focus on community over just making a ton of money, it can make it a little harder to raise massive amounts of capital. And hey, anytime you get a group of equals working together, there's always the potential for conflicts. It's a constant balancing act. So where does all this leave us? In an economy that is so dominated by giant top-down corporations, is it possible that this idea of collective ownership, this democratic, community-first model, could that actually be the future of business? It's a huge question and definitely something to think about. Thanks for digging into this with me today.